Good morning. It's Sam Silver, EXP Realty, 661-621-5340. I'm going on a little earlier. We're going to be in a Zoom meeting this morning, and I'm going to boot that up as well at the same time. So thank you so much for coming to my live. I appreciate you, and let's get going pretty soon. Give me a second here. Let me go to my link, and please let me know if you would like to be part of this Zoom meeting, because I'll be happy to invite you, have you come into Zoom. Um, just leave me a private message. Let me see. Actually, you can go to charitableproperties.com if you want to come into Zoom and click on attend Charitable Real Estate 101 presentation.
And then live, we do
Go
it on
to
Wednesdays at noon
live
Eastern.
event.
And we also have a recording.
Register.
So whether you want to wait and sit in live and get your questions answered in the moment, or whether you want to watch it right now and then sit in, you're welcome to go either way. Just click the right button below and we'll see you in Charitable Real Estate 101, how you can leverage real estate for real change.
Here we go. We're joining with video. Here we go. Join my computer audio. And good morning. Good morning.
Sam Silver, Mr. Dependable.
Absolutely. Give me a second. There we go.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, my friend. I'm just working some magic in the back here. I have Clubhouse going on. I have all sorts of stuff going on here. So just trying to make sure everything works so people can come in and actually hear everything that we're doing. Incredible things. I love your happy anniversary, by the way. Let's see.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
8 months.
That's fantastic. There we go. So we're live on Clubhouse.
We met on December.
Go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to say we met on December 3rd, and it's been 8 months. And we got engaged, and I told her that I said, December 3rd this year is a Saturday. That'll be a great day to actually get married. So we're working on that.
Nice. That's fantastic. Did you see the?
I've never been married, so it's a big deal for me. I'll be 53 next month.
Awesome.
Hold on.
Let's see. I'm going to pop in. Charitable. Oh, I bought a new domain name. You'll love it. Charitableproperties.com. There we go.
I'm switching internets real quick. This might give me a blip, but I'm on the one I'm on is on secure one.
Okay, let me go to my StreamYard, make sure I got you on my StreamYard and share here. Share my screen and put you on my Zoom. Hopefully this all works out together. Looks like we got 2 participants right now. Let's see. Let me make sure my let's see the way this works. It's broadcasting. Let me see. How's the sound? I can hear you. Let me mute myself on the Zoom so I could see what's going on with the sound on this side. Unmute. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Let me check the settings. Speak cam. That's right. Audio. And 1, 2, 3. Awesome. So we're all connected here. Stop the screen. Now we're going to start the screen also at the same time. Let me share the screen. And here's our Zoom.
Okay.
All right. It looks like sometimes the Zoom is clear. Other times it's not. All right. Give me a sec. Welcome, whoever's in this wonderful charitable gifts of real estate 101. Where is my Zoom? Okay, there it is. Give me a second. All right.
Sam, once
I'm
you're
back.
all set,
I'm back.
Once you're all set, I'm get started.
Absolutely. Let's get started.
All right, cool. Start recording.
Recording in progress.
All right, folks. Whoever can hear me, guys, welcome to the Charitable Gifting of Real Estate 101. My name is Alan Biles. I'm the Vice President of the Real Agents of Change. And I'm going to be going through basically a bunch of slides. And I'm going to be talking about the process, the benefits, and the rewards of charitable gifting of real estate. Something that I'd never heard of until about December of last year when I first met the founder and the leader of this organization. Her name is Cammie C.E. Baker, and she just authored her second book that was released in June. We did a book launch at a nonprofit that we're affiliated with called The Haven in Sarasota, Florida. And just a little background about myself. Like Sam, I'm also a veteran and served during the first Gulf War. And I did one enlistment of service, was out in 1992, and really wasn't very active with my brotherhood and my sisterhood of veterans after separating from the military. I just sort of went on my merry way and continued with life. And as I've grown and I've met more people and I've seen a lot of the problems that veterans are coming home with, and have grown to have a really strong passion for helping veteran causes. I was blessed myself to not have to deal with any of the problems a lot of veterans associate with. But what I can do now is take this amazing gift and bring it to the veteran community. I'm also a rescue dog owner, so of course I'm going to be passionate about animal rescues, shelters, organizations that support animal treatment. And so what I want to do is just going to get started here. The first slide is just basically a warning. You cannot unlearn the truth. So once you understand the process that we're going to teach today about charitable gifting of real estate and the power behind it, it's going to be up to you to take some action on it. Mostly the next step for almost everyone, really, especially at the beginning, is just to learn more. This is a sample. This is a tasting of the full course meal, which is to come. But you're not going to get the full course meal today. You're just going to get a sample of it. But you're going to get the knowledge enough to know that this is an actual legitimate way to really make an impact in the community. So this has been around for over 100 years. In 1917, the U.S. tax code was created incentivizing people to give real estate to nonprofits, to qualified 501c3s, so that the nonprofit could receive the benefits, and the incentives for the donors were that they could avoid capital gains tax and they could get a tax deduction against their adjusted gross income. So for a potential donor or a donor to give a piece of property, there's a lot more benefits than just giving cash. Last year, over $9 billion was donated to nonprofits in this country. A total of $454 billion was gifted, but only $9 billion of that came through real estate, which is actually not a lot, especially when you consider the fact that 43% of our nation's wealth, 43% of our country's wealth is tied up in real estate, while less than 3% of our nation's wealth is in cash. So people are donating, the vast majority, 98% of the donations are coming from the cash pocket, which is only less than 3% of our nation's wealth, while only 2% of our wealth is being utilized to give, which it's a very small amount when there's 43% of our wealth tied up in real estate. So I want to ask you, whoever's listening to this right now, if you have a nonprofit in mind, if you work for a nonprofit, if you just have a nonprofit you're passionate about, what would your nonprofit do with $550,000? I want you to really think about that, because a lot can get done with that amount of money. For most nonprofits, that's a transformational donation. What's that, Sam?
Oh, sorry. I didn't realize I wasn't. I didn't realize I wasn't muted.
So the reason I'm asking what would you do with $550,000 is because that's the average size gift for a nonprofit from a single donation of real estate. On average, a donation of real estate translates into $550,000 to any nonprofit that receives it. We're showing right now on the screen a copy of the book, Real Estate is Hot, Fundraising is Not, written by Cami C.E. Baker. This is the foundational textbook that we work from. Basically, if you were to be able to get your hands on one of these books, read it, digest it, it would shortcut all your education that you would need on how to apply and to benefit nonprofits and yourself. Because what we're into is making money while making a difference. The problem is that, first of all, let's just say that there's 1.5 million nonprofits in the United States. And out of all those nonprofits, less than 0.1% actually accept real estate as a donation. If you were to show up at your local Boys and Girls Club with a donation of $500 in cash in your left hand and the deed to a property worth $500,000 in your right hand, it's very unlikely. It's almost never going to happen that they would actually accept the real estate. They'll take the $500 and thank you for your generosity. The reason is because there's a lot of complexity to accepting a donation of real estate. If you really step back and think about it, there's two ways that most people know about how to accept or for a donor to give or for a nonprofit to accept a donation of real estate. There are three ways, but very few people know about the third way. And the third way is what we're going to teach about today. But first, I want to go over the first two ways and help you understand why the third way is so important. So the first way, the donor can actually just sell the real estate themselves and give the proceeds of the sale to the nonprofit. In this circumstance, the donor is going to pay all the capital gains tax if applicable. They're going to pay all the taxes associated with the sale of the property, and whatever's left, they'll give to the nonprofit. But like in this scenario, let's say that the property is worth $600,000. There's a $200,000 mortgage on it, which would automatically, you'd assume that would be $400,000 in equity that they could give to the nonprofit. But that doesn't actually translate, because when the donor sells the property, they're going to pay all the taxes associated with it, and they're going to probably collect closer to $300,000. And most likely, donors are going to want to offset what they paid in taxes, so they're going to take out more money from that $300,000 that's left to offset their taxes. So the nonprofit can look at usually getting at about a $200,000 donation in this situation, which, if you just looked at it from the outside and didn't know about our third way, you would think that's actually pretty decent. But in this circumstance, it's actually the worst way, because the donor only gets to write off the $200,000 out of a $600,000 property. The nonprofit receives the least amount of value out of this process, and the donor gets the least amount of tax write-offs. It is the most inefficient and the most ineffective way to donate. The second way is simply that the donor can give the property straight to the nonprofit. They just give the property over. And like I said, if the property is worth $600,000 and there's a $200,000 mortgage on it, the nonprofit would then have to come out of pocket to pay off that $200,000 mortgage. And unfortunately, a lot of nonprofits, the vast majority, don't have that type of working capital to offer. On top of that, if the donor requests some money back, if they say, well, look, I only paid $200,000 for this property. I want to give it to you, but I want $200,000 back. Now they got to pay the mortgage of $200,000, and they'd have to grant that donor a $200,000 check to offset their wish to get some money back out of it. So after that, the nonprofit themselves will also be responsible for maintenance, upkeep, anything associated with owning the property, including an unfortunate circumstance like a tornado or a hurricane. They're going to be liable for that property during that situation. So just the process of taking on this ownership will take time and money, which these nonprofits literally almost all will refuse. 99.9% of the nonprofits out there will not accept the property. They just won't do it. And I honestly wouldn't blame them, because it's not a very good way of doing it. It takes too much time. And these nonprofits, their mission isn't to convert real estate into capitals. Their missions are usually, to help cure cancer, to house the homeless, to benefit veterans, those types of things. So there is a third way that you can do this. And the third way is what we're going to talk about right now. So we have a specialized nonprofit whose only cause, they exist solely to help other nonprofits. And the way they help them is by receiving gifts of real estate on their behalf, converting those gifts of real estate into capital, and then granting that capital to the destination nonprofit. So if the nonprofit in question, let's say, for instance, was a Boys and Girls Club, our specialized nonprofit will receive the gift with agreements up front with the donor saying that once this property is liquidated, the proceeds will go then to the Boys and Girls Club. This way, the nonprofit that's going to receive this gift will have no risk at all. The specialized nonprofit takes title and financial responsibility completely. They'll pay off mortgages. They'll do any type of maintenance to the property if it needs to get done for like marketability. They own the property. They are responsible for the property, and there's no need for the nonprofits to accept the real estate itself. They just get the benefits of the proceeds. Now, on average, what happens is so on a $600,000 property that has a $200,000 mortgage, and the third way, our specialized nonprofit would accept the donation of real estate right up front. They would pay off the $200,000 mortgage, and the donor then would receive all their tax benefits on the appraised value of the home right away. So they would be off the title. They would be done. For the donor, this is a great way because they don't have to do any work. All they have to do is get the property appraised. That is it. They get all their benefits right up front, right away, and then now they're no longer responsible for that property. Now, this is a two-step process for the proceeds to get to the donation that's going to be given to the destination nonprofit. The second step is now that our specialized nonprofit has ownership of the property, they list and liquidate the property with one of our real estate agents, for example, like Sam. So Sam brings the donation to the table. Sam's going to be the listing agent. And if Sam can't list it because it might not be in his market, he's going to get the referral fee from another real estate agent in our network. And then once the property is liquidated through our specialized nonprofit grants the proceeds of the sale to the destination nonprofit. Now, in the circumstance, let's say it's a $600,000 home, there's a $200,000 mortgage. So now the specialized nonprofit, once they convert the property to cash, they take an average of between 2 and 10% off the back end. That way, they recover any of their investments to improve the property, and they pay the real estate agent out of that last year was actually 5.9%. So they don't even keep 10%. They have to advertise it's between 2 and 10% because different situations, they require different value. But this allows any nonprofit to benefit from gifts of real estate. So the nonprofits benefit because they don't have to deal with it. They don't have to spend any time, treasure, or manpower to actually deal with the property, and the donor gets all their benefits right up front. Basically, the property donor donates the property. The specialized nonprofit takes title and responsibility. They then list and liquidate it through our certified charitable real estate specialists, and then the donor's nonprofit, the one they originally wanted to get the gift to, receives anywhere from 90 to 98% of the proceeds. Now, these gifts of property, the donations can come from anywhere in the country. So I'm in Florida right now. Sam's in California. If one of his donors right there in California decides they want to give a property and it's upstate New York, no problem. If it's in Mexico, New Mexico, it doesn't matter. Obviously, out of the country, that would create a little bit of different of a complication, but anywhere in the U.S., any type of property, as long as it's not timeshare, deal with residential, commercial, doesn't matter. As long as it has equity, comes the first. Once the property is evaluated, it does qualify as a donation because it has equity and it's marketable. Then they draw up a draft agreement with the donor stating that this property is being given to the VFW in your local area. It doesn't matter who it's going to. Any nonprofit can accept this gift. And so any nonprofit can benefit anywhere in the country. So it doesn't matter who the nonprofit is, it doesn't matter what kind of property is, and it doesn't matter where the property is. Now this next screen has a bunch of very well-known charitable companies that are listed on it. Fidelity Charitable is the one that jumps out to me because it's the largest charitable organization in the country. But all these nonprofits have benefited from charitable real estate through our specialized nonprofit. United Way, AARP, Habitat for Humanity. These are all well-known organizations that do not handle their own real estate. These are some more. There's another list right here. Duke University, Hillsdale College, Georgia State. None of these organizations deal with the real estate. They don't accept the property themselves. What they do is they have a third-party nonprofit who takes title, processes the sale, and then grants them the funding. That's how they do it. There's some examples of real estate that's been donated just recently. This was from January 2021, a $1.7 million real estate sale that funded the MLK Community Center endowment, $1.7 million. This next one is in California. It's a $7.5 million real estate that's property is it's being listed right now. That's going to a nonprofit. The sale proceeds will be given to a charity. It doesn't even list which charity is getting it right now. And then the biggest one we've seen was last year. The Arizona Community Foundation received a gift in the value of $129 million from a real estate transaction. Now, this was not just one piece of property. This was a package of real estate that was gifted all at once. So these gifts are happening. I mean, donations to real estate are happening all over the country. They're happening every day. The question is why aren't you hearing about it? And what we want to do is help you get plugged in to be able to, if you're a real estate agent, to be able to get these listings, to be able to find these listings, and if you're a nonprofit, to be able to benefit from these gifts. Now, this next slide has a great example of champions in our community. We have a for sale sign in front of a house with a traditional for sale sign with the listing agent and the listing real estate agency. This is in the center. That's Jessica Peterson. She's one of our champions. And then on the left is Hallie Jordan. She represents the Haven Foundation, which is a nonprofit in Sarasota who we're affiliated with, who did the book launch actually in their facility. And her sign shows that 100% of the proceeds of this sale will be funding the nonprofit, including The Haven. And then off to the right is Cami C.E. Baker, the founder of our organization. And this just represents what it looks like at the, when a home is being listed, the people that are involved, and a PR campaign that will be following it. So as a real estate agent, I'm not in real estate. I don't sell real estate. I don't do anything with real estate other than help nonprofits receive the gifts, the funding of it. But what I know is that if I were a real estate agent, instead of donating a portion of my commissions to a nonprofit, to be able to bring the whole gift, for the sale of the home, or the strip mall, or the piece of land, to be able to get that whole gift to the nonprofit and be able to make a full commission, that's real power. And going forward, I would want to market myself to anybody in my community with this as one of the reasons why people would want to do business with me. So the solution to what we're talking about here, the reason that most of these nonprofits won't accept real estate is because they don't know about this third way. We are the real agents of change. We call it the RAOC, RAOC. What we are the only organization in the world that's educating and instructing and certifying real estate agents, financial planners, title companies. We're creating all the marketing, all the education to bring this to your community. There's a certified charitable real estate specialist certification that you can get through us. We have the system, the support, and the strategy to leverage real estate for real change to help you make money, making a big difference. Now, Cami C.E. Baker is the queen of social responsibility campaigns, and this is the best social responsibility campaign that you could ever involve yourself in. You're going to attract over 80% of your marketplace by separating yourself from the rest of your very competitive field. You'll have access to the marketing, social media posts, library of information, thousands of hours that have been dedicated towards building a library of documents, of videos, of interviews, of all kinds of marketing that you can personalize with your information on it. We also have an international database map. It's actually an interactive map that features our certified charitable real estate specialists on it. Whether you're a real estate agent, financial planner, nonprofit, or maybe someone like myself who's not even involved, just a concerned citizen. And on this map, this is an example of what the website looks like. As you hover over these different areas that have the seal, each one of them represents a certified charitable real estate specialist. And when you hover over it, it actually highlights the name, their profession, their contact information, and a little bit about the person themselves. So anytime somebody Googles, like we've had one of our specialists just talk to us about how they were found by someone Googling them on this map. The Google search actually took them right to the map. And this is the book. Real Estate is Hot, Fundraising is Not. This is, like I said, the textbook. This is the Bible for what we are doing to get the most information. This is the book you want to really read. And then after this is Cami C.E. Baker's contact information. She has her email address here, the Facebook group link, her YouTube channel, and her email address. I'm going to pause here for a minute, let you guys write this down, take a screenshot, whatever you got to do. But the next thing for you guys to do, once you have your taste buds, once you get a little taste of this, the next thing you're going to go is you want to come to the master class, www.theraoc.com/masterclass. This is the most in-depth teaching that we have on the subject. It's the first and third Tuesday of every month at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. The first and third Tuesday of every month at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. So based on where you guys are, you just have to calculate that. But I cannot recommend it more strongly. You're going to get a real deep dive into all the details, the nuts and bolts of how this works and how you can apply it into your business, or how you can teach your people at your nonprofit about this. Some other website, some other addresses you want to take a look at here. Our website is www.theraoc.com. If you add a / to that, FAQS, that's our frequently asked questions, a lot of good information there. www.therock.com / donations. This is a good page to check out some of the donations that have occurred that we have stories behind. www.therock.com / property evaluation. So give you an example of the first step that a donor takes whenever they have a property they want to donate. Goes straight to the property evaluation. That's the first thing that has to happen with a property. We have to determine that it's marketable and it has equity. TheRock.com / chapter 1, where you can get the first chapter of the book, Real Estate is Hot, Fundraising is Not, for free. And then this is the Facebook group, Real Agents of Change. You can find that on Facebook as The Real Agents of Change. And then Cammie's her LinkedIn page, to find her at Cammie Baker on LinkedIn. And I'm going to stop right here. This is the end of the presentation. The last slide. I want to make sure everybody has any questions. I want to answer those now, because I think questions and answers at the end of this are actually the most important aspect. So I'm going to leave it open to anybody with a question right now.
Good morning, Alan. I saw we have Elizabeth Flynn that joined us. Elizabeth, do you have any questions on?
Hi.
Hey,
Yes. Hi there. I was trying to type it into the chat, but I appreciate you just acknowledging and offering the opportunity to ask in here. I was supposed to do the masterclass yesterday, and I swear I had something just go sideways right before it was supposed to start. So yeah. Is there a way for me to participate in the masterclass before waiting another couple of weeks?
No, well, there is, but I don't want to, the way that it's set up right now is there's a masterclass video that you can actually pay for to watch. Mm-hmm. But I think it would just be, beneficial for you to, now you missed, were you in on this whole 101?
Actually, I went to YouTube and I found one of Cammie's video, and I actually tuned in for your Sacramento event.
Okay.
And so even though I'm not in Sacramento, I'm in North Carolina, I just thought, well, at least it's an opportunity to engage with you all. And
what do you do? Are you a real estate agent?
I am. I'm a real estate broker in North and South Carolina. I live in Charlotte, and I am on the PTO board of my daughter's Catholic school. And I see a lot of synergy, obviously, multiple levels. I've been in sales for 25 plus years, so I've held other positions and volunteer roles with our, charity community. But again, one scenario that is sort of top of mind is, as the PTO, I'm not the president, but the community leader, it's a way we see a lot of grandparents who are selling their homes and moving to the Carolinas to be closer to family. And what better way to contribute to the endowment and the funds of the Catholic school than participating in a program like this, knowing that, the proceeds don't hit their account. It can go straight to the charitable arm and they can accomplish more than one goal. So it was one way for me to use that as a platform, I guess, to take that to the principal and say, hey, is there a way to integrate some wording or just, communicate this to the school population so that, again, they can let their loved ones know that this is available to them.
Well, I'll tell you right now, what you can make available to yourself would be a document that I actually produced myself, because being affiliated with nonprofits is something. So I came at this from a nonprofit perspective initially. I had no experience in the real estate world, but I do understand nonprofits. And one of the things that wasn't available, a lot of people that are involved in nonprofits are going to want to have something they can present to the board, because usually as a group of people that are going to make the decisions for the nonprofit. So we have a document that's at www.theraoc.com / documents. And it's something that you can get right now, and it summarizes all the different steps and variables, because there's a lot of variables. Like, if a donor comes to the table with a property, it could be worth $1 million. They might have a referral fee that you would get for someone becoming a champion. You get 4 champions. If you're a champion, you get 4 champions as a referral fee. They paid for your champion. So it's a way. We want you to go out there and talk about it, and we want you to feel like we collaborate. We don't compete. So we don't want you to feel like I'm going to dominate this marketplace, because it's not likely you can. On average, there's like 500 nonprofits in one county in the United States. You can look this up on taxexemptworld.com, find out how many nonprofits are in your tri-county area. Most real estate agents work a 3-county area, but it's likely that there's at least 2,000 nonprofits within your market that you could actually bring this to all of them. And here's the thing that makes that so powerful, is that almost every one of them has a donation of real estate in their current donor list. It's there. They just haven't told their donors that they can accept donations of real estate. A lot of nonprofits say to me, well, we've never been offered a gift to real estate. Well, of course you haven't. You've never asked for one. So until you start actually realizing you can receive the benefits of real estate without actually having to take on real estate, once you see the value of being able to accept this type of donation without actually handling the property, then they're going to want to be able to take advantage of it. They have to be educated first. Right. That's the process. That's the work on your end. And then the work on their end is you have to coach them up to have the nonprofit put it on their website, put it in their social media, put it in their emails that go out to all their donors and potential donors. If they're doing a fundraising campaign, hey, we can accept donations of real estate. If there's flyers being made and given out, put it on the flyer. If they have a newsletter that goes out, put it in the newsletter. Just communicate it to your donors. Once you have that relationship with the nonprofit, your work is to be their expert. You're the advisor now. You're the advisory role. Okay, so now you're basically their consultant for real estate donations. So now when our donation comes in, they contact you right away. You bring that through the process with us, whether the donation is going to be from an out-of-state donation because you're in North Carolina. The donation could be in California. Mm-hmm. Sam will get to list it. You'll get a referral fee from Sam. If it's in your local market, that's yours, right? No questions asked. And there's nobody that's going to negotiate your commission. There's nobody that's going to, once it's yours, no one's going to come along and say, no, we're going to give it to another real estate agent. No, it's yours, period. Mm-hmm. So
do I have access to a database of other agents who are participating in this program? So if somebody comes to me and say, hey, my mom's selling in Missouri, and so then I have an opportunity to refer the business to an agent that is certified in this program in the Missouri area. I just kind of pulled that out of my head.
That's
Absolutely.
The link to the interactive map. So you can click on that, and that takes you right to the map that if you hover over any of those CCRES symbols, you'll find that it'll show you all the different, whether they're realtors or financial planners or nonprofits. It'll show you their information, where they're located. Yep.
Now, I'm not currently with EXP, but Cammy's an EXP realtor, right? And obviously Sam, that you can see from your photo. Is this exclusive to EXP? Or
no,
it just so happens that you all are staying within your wheelhouse here?
Well, if you understand the business model of EXP, it's based on a network marketing principle. So it gives EXP agents a reason to talk to other agents to build their network. So it's a tool for EXP agents that other real estate agents don't look at it like that. Mm-hmm. But Cammie had her license, her real estate license with EXP, just parked it there. She doesn't actually do anything with real estate, and she doesn't build her network. It's sort of it's at odds with what we do. We're bringing agents in, teaching them about charitable gifting of real estate, and for her, she doesn't want people saying, well, okay, I want to be in Cammie's group, even though I'm in so-and-so's group. I want to switch over to Cammie's group because I like her better. She doesn't want that drama.
She doesn't want the conflict of interest, basically.
Understood.
Yeah. So she just hangs it there. She's not doing anything with a real estate license. Now there's people that we met in EXP that are solely focused on building their network and aren't doing real estate. They have their real estate license, but they don't actually do any real estate transactions because their focus is, I want to build a big network of real estate agents. So it's sort of like when I teach EXP agents about this, who are actually active realtors, I teach them, hey, look, go out and talk to other real estate agents who might be with Coldwell Banker or Remax or whatever. And you can talk to them about EXP, but they might automatically give you the Heisman right away if you go straight to that. Whereas if you say, hey, listen, have you ever dealt with a gift of real estate and did the listing as a liquidation? They're going to be like, what? Never heard of that. Just a good door opener. In fact, for me personally, I am now interacting with people that are like almost on a celebrity level that I would have expected to meet or talk to before. But being able to talk about this puts me in circulation with high net worth people that are curious. Oh, wow, okay, I could use a tax write-off on some of my real estate portfolio. So the type of people that you're going to talk to once this really gets going for you are going to be like multiple real estate owners, people that are going to have a real estate portfolio, and it's going to give you a position in their perspective of someone who's at a much higher level of business, because you're a philanthropist. You're not just a real estate agent.
Right.
So
I love it. And I'm working on getting my certification as a senior specialist. And I really just liked being an advocate for my senior population. I mean, they're overwhelmed as it is with selling their home. And then there's all this tech and all this stuff. And no offense, but millennials who just think that they can come in whenever they want and do whatever they want and see the house whenever they want. And I just like to be a bodyguard to all of that. So just using this is just in tandem with the value add of, the service I can bring them. Hey, it's one-stop shop. I got you from concept to closure.
Absolutely.
And then the other thing
I'm Gen X. I'm Generation X.
We're the sandwich generation. So it's just like we have aging parents and children that we're parenting, and we're trying to stay alive. Yep. And we're the smallest of this population, the Gen Xers are. So
yeah, and you could partner with a lot of different industries doing what we do. You could partner with hearing aid companies or hospice organizations. There's a lot of nonprofits in and around that, but there's also a lot of for-profit organizations that contribute to those causes. But you can also partner with, like, I'm talking to banks now, because banks have real estate. They have asset management groups. Because they have they have real estate that they don't want. They don't want the real estate they have. They may have repossessed it, or they might have foreclosed on homes. And what we represent is an opportunity and you could be their real estate go-to person in your local area, or a bank. And I know Charlotte's heavy with banks, right? I mean, there's a lot of banks that are headquartered there.
Yeah.
So my thought is to approach a bank, whether you talk to their asset management division or their charitable gifting division, because every bank is legally obligated to give back a certain amount of money to their local community through nonprofit gifting. And because it's part of the law of them actually operating as a bank, they're going to be open to the ideas. Hey, we can unload some of our inventory, our real estate as a donation to a nonprofit.
I love it.
This way. And you can be the catalyst to make that happen in your local area.
I love it. So with the masterclass, that's not the actual certification. That's just the high level, all things overview of this is what this is what you can and can't do. This is the education flow. And then after masterclass, we then sign up for the certification piece.
Right. So once you take the masterclass, the next step is to take the test to either choose whether you want to be a specialist or a champion. The champion is just so much value. The amount of time that you're going to save and all the work that we've put into building a library of information that'll shorten up your learning curve. You can either spend the time it'll take you to really build your own library, or just pay the money to have the library given to you and use your time rather than have to work on all that, you're basically buying your time back by investing in that. And then as a champion, I personally still say you should still come back to the master class 3, 4, 5, 6 times. Sam's there just about. Sam's the most consistent person in our organization. He is Mr. Consistent, and he probably has, because of his experience hearing it and talking with it. Like, it's just so, I'm sure he's got second nature.
I talk to everybody and anybody. Actually, I'm going on a few podcasts to talk about it, and I think I could speak pretty intelligently about it. And I'm passionate because if you take a look at my car behind me, I give back to police, fire, nurses, teachers, government employees, nonprofits already through my business. So when I ran into this in January, it was a no-brainer for me. It's like, okay, so I could take, what I give back already and say, listen, I just added this to help nonprofits in our communities. Let's connect. So I'm already in the neighborhood. People already see my electric car everywhere. I'm going to change my back window, I think, to charitable gifts of real estate to nonprofits because it's kind of fading anyways. So I think I'm going to take my back window and do something like your cause can now accept gifts of real estate with no capital.
I think we all feel that the real estate market is changing, and it's going to go through another cycle soon. And once it tightens up again, and you're going to want something to separate yourself from the rest of the pack with. And I think there's nothing better than this.
I agree. I agree. And when you throw that $500,000 number out there that says this is the average donation, that's attractive to me and that's attractive to the nonprofit. But is there a baseline? Is there a minimum amount? Like somebody like the average person who just wants to get in the game and do a good deed, is $10,000 enough, or is there a base?
Well, not for a donation. But Cami has other resources that we can utilize to help the person that wants to donate facilitate it in a different way. But typically, the majority of what we do is through one specialized nonprofit called Realty Gift Fund. You can find them at www. I'll even type it in here. And typically, their minimum deal, they want to see at least 200,000. Oh, it didn't come as the link.
So a minimum of 200K.
Yeah.
Do HTTP. Okay. Do HTTP.
Yeah. I'm just being lazy.
RealtyGiftFund.org.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's it.
So, but they are just an extremely incredible group of men and women who are dedicated towards their cause of funding other nonprofits through this gift, and their reputation is literally, that's their main currency. So, and last year they only kept 5.9% on average, and that pays for everything involved. That any improvements that were done to the home to make it more marketable, they pay us out of that. They pay themselves out of that, and it's pretty impressive how they work and do a lot of great things. And we've looked at a lot, and Cami still is finding other nonprofits that do similar things. None of them do what the Realty Gift Fund does, because they either have like a flat fee, they charge 10% across the board, doesn't matter how big it or small it is, or they have fees that work out to be just as bad as far as it just doesn't. One of them told us that they don't actually sell the property, they auction it off. And I'm like, no.
And you get like the lowest number possible.
Yeah, it's like you're going to give away like a lot of value if you just auction it. And especially with real estate being so hot right now. Listings aren't lasting that long. You put a home for sale, it's gone.
Right. But it sounds to me like your target is going to be a high net worth individual who lives in $1 million plus home in order to really be attracted to, the $200,000. days.
That's a good number to shoot for as a minimum. But we had a woman named Linda who had $140,000 log cabin in the Poconos,
Mm-hmm.
and that was accepted as a gift. And she just it was actually passed down to her from other family, and it was becoming more of a burden for her. She'd be given like $50, and then when she found out about that she could actually donate the property, she did that. And then since then, she's actually upped her gift now. She gives $100 a month. So there's a lot of psychological things that go on when somebody invests in a nonprofit to this degree, especially, you know. And this woman, Linda, she was not like a high net worth person.
Okay. But the property value or the minimum gift amount is the $200K that you mentioned.
I would say if you looked at it like that, you want to try to find about $150,000 to $200,000 in equity.
Okay. So as long as that equity amount exists, the home, again, I think there's multiple variables and
equity
goals.
is the most important. Yes.
Okay. They have to have that equity coming out.
Second most important is the marketability of it. Like it can't be even if it's owned outright, right? But it's a piece of, like an old abandoned gas station in the middle of Route 66. That's not.
But if it's a $500,000 property, they've paid off their mortgage, and their goal is to sell it, that $500,000 would be coming to them as proceeds. However, they see value in this, and they say, okay, from the $500,000 house that we're selling, $200,000 is going to go to the charity. We keep $300,000 after fees and commissions are paid, and that's an acceptable deal.
Yes. Now
Yes.
they still will pay tax on that $300,000 when they cash out.
Sure.
They're still going to pay tax as whatever their tax implications will be.
Or they can roll it into a 1031 or purchase another property.
Yes. There's a lot of things you can do with it. You can also take the money and put it into a charitable remainder trust and give X amount per year going forward and collect interest on the money. And a financial professional, planner, financial planners know about charitable remainder trusts because they make the fee or commissions off of, the funds under management. So if, you have a $500,000 gift, and instead of it going straight to the nonprofit, it goes into a charitable remainder trust. This is where, for you, partnering with financial planners would be wise to do as well, because the financial planner and you aren't going to be in competition for the commission on the sale of the property. He's going to want the property. He's going to want the property to be converted to capital and have that money put into a trust, and that doesn't matter to you.
Okay, got it. And then, so take the masterclass, take the test, and then the difference between specialist and champion is what we pay per year, per month to participate in this program.
Right. It's a $400. You're going to be a specialist if you're a champion. Everyone's a specialist, but like some people don't want to invest that money into a champion right away until they see how much work it is to build this, type of marketing for yourself, the interviews, all the things that come along with a champion package. It's just so much value there that it's almost like a no-brainer. Once you see it, and you'll see it. It's at the end of the master class. Cami brings me on, and I basically go through what it looks like to be a specialist, and then what it looks like to be a champion. And the contrast is, stark enough for you to realize, well, hey, for someone like Cami, if this was presented to her, maybe she's enough of a self-starter to do it. But I personally see the value in. I'm 53. I'll be 53 next month. I'll be 53. My time is now more valuable than it was when I was 25. So I don't want to waste a lot of my time now building all this marketing material and the time that it takes to do all the videos and all the interviews on my own when I can leverage Cami, the Real Agents of Change, get those interviews. She's really good about finding out what your purpose is and helping you, establish a presence that you can take and then market through video interviews, through the education that you're going to get. Like, that's the value.
Got it. And so once we stop, so as long as we're participating, paying into the champion program or specialists, we're allowed to keep doing this. But
Right.
if we stop, then that just we've cut off our arm to being able to continue.
Well, you just won't have access to the platform.
Got
so
it.
if you certified for the first year and then don't renew your certification, you just won't have access to the platform until you renew it.
Okay, and the platform is through Realty Gift Fund, or the platform is through Real Agents of Change?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. And
we're the marketing. So they're great at what they do. They're great at the process. What they're terrible at is marketing. See, last year, $9 billion was gifted in real estate, and all of that was reactive. That $9 billion represents people who wanted to give real estate and had to do their own due diligence and find out, well, how can I do this? And they got on the computer and they did all the searches and they did their own, and then for them to think, no, they're saying, hey, guess what? There's no billboards, there's no commercials. We're working on all that right now. First, we're educating the realtors, building the foundation. And then, I personally want to start making commercials to be televised, right on television.
Mm-hmm. I got it.
That takes big money, though.
I mean, I come from a marketing and advertising background, and I don't want to do it. I see the value of just being able to finally somebody can take this off my plate, and I get to show up and be me, and do the lead gen and do the business development and do the sales.
You show up with a open heart. You show up with a kind spirit. You show up as you and caring, and it sounds like you're a really caring person. So you show up just being caring and just saying, listen, I just heard about a great way that you can get money for your nonprofit without all the fundraising and money and time and energy and hiring people, with all of that, without that. And
no, I love it.
Most people are going to be like, really? How do I do that? Because you know how much energy that takes.
Well, I just love the unique identity of all this. Like why not do something special? Why not do something, heart-centered and do it from the right reasons and integrity based on top of that. Absolutely. So it's a beautiful package. I love everything about it. Like I said, I'm just disappointed I couldn't be on the mastermind yesterday, but I'll get caught up. And so, Alan, you're in Florida? Is that where you are? Where are you? Okay, and so you're in California?
Right. Yep, I'm in California. I went to Fort Jackson, South Carolina for my basic training, so I know your area.
Okay, got it.
Good old Tank Hill, run up and down Tank Hill, and it was crazy. 17 years old, and didn't know what the world had in store for me. Just a young kid, wet behind the ears, but actually I loved it. It was beautiful there.
Good. It's hot as hell though. I mean, y'all are in Florida and California, so but we have humidity.
I spent a lot of time in Fort Bragg.
Okay, excellent. I'm originally
hey, don't brag about
it. There you go. I'm originally from Kentucky, and I'm actually strongly considering moving over to EXP, just for a lot of different reasons. So I see, again, a lot of value add to, stay in contact on this, bring you all to Charlotte, bring more people to your platform, grow my network underneath me with agents who want to change the world through these types of opportunities, because again, I'm looking to differentiate myself. I'm not an organizer. I'm not somebody who likes to stage homes.
Yeah.
I really like to get down to just, the business equity, how to grow wealth, how to do really important, heart-centered things with equity that you built up in your home or through real estate and other things. So
philanthropy, that's going to be your specialty, philanthropy and senior adult and senior care.
Yeah. I mean, and so just one more quick thing, I'll let you all go, but I used to be the director of sales for the Charlotte Sports Foundation. The Charlotte Sports Foundation is a 501c3 that oversees collegiate football games in North Carolina. So we would do like the North Carolina versus South Carolina season opener at Bank of America Panther Stadium. And so we're allowed to be a 501c3 because we give that money to education and K through 12. And, you know, we have different, but under the laws of economic development, we were able to call ourselves 501c3.
Mhm.
But again, I can go back to them and say, hey,
Absolutely.
you know, let's integrate into sponsorship opportunities and how
You
we do
said it.
this.
Yes, your marketing mind is already working that out.
Mhm.
Yes,
And so
sponsorship.
can you give me an example of how you might have used sponsorship as a tool to communicate the value of this?
Yeah, of course. So, like, you could take one of those universities or the group, the 501c3, the organization that does the sports, and have them market the fact that, you know, any nonprofit can receive these donations of real estate, and just have, you know, whether they want to market, like if you have your own logo, or, you know, have your information in there. If this is a contact of yours and they'd be willing to put you on there, then have them promote the fact that charitable gifting of real estate can be handled once they understand the concept and see how well it streamlines everything for the donor and for the nonprofit that wants to receive this gift. That's the work on your end is going to be educating them on what we do, or bringing them, do what you do best, refer the rest is what we teach.
Mm-hmm.
So if you you leverage us to teach them about how this works, so they can really vet us, vet RGF, and once they're comfortable with it, the next step would be for you to get them to market you on their marketing material, just like anything else. And just by their reach alone, you know, that would just be a huge impact.
Yeah, because we have access to ticket data, all the people who bought tickets. We have access to the alumni departments and who all their boosters and their donors are. But that's a database that is housed by the foundation, like all these other 501c3s, right? I mean,
all these colleges are 501c3s. All these colleges receive gifts from their alumni as a 501c3. So this is a very common thing. This is something you should talk to Cammie about. She is the marketing and strategy queen. I submit to her. She is so gifted in that field. And you guys sound like you would get along really well. One thing I wanted to ask you, where in Kentucky are you from?
Lexington, where the University of Kentucky is.
UK.
Yeah.
You ever heard of Claiborne Farms?
I do know Claiborne Farms. I know it well.
So I know Kentucky very well, first of all. I'm from Maryland, and Maryland has the Preakness. Kentucky has the Kentucky Derby. And the first love of my life was from Henderson, Kentucky, which is way west of Kentucky. I've been to Kentucky Lake. I've been to Claiborne Farms. I actually had a personal tour with the manager of the farm, and I saw where Secretariat was buried and all. So I'm very fond of Kentucky. I love University of Kentucky. And their basketball program was second to none forever. I haven't been keeping up with it lately, but who's your college that you?
So the reason I grew up in Kentucky, all things basketball. My family was in the horse business and different things. I still have a lot of friends who are. And I went to Alabama. And why? Because I was a sports journalism major, and I wanted the diversity of going to a football school. So I'm very well channeled with the ranks of Alabama, huge endowment. I mean, if you go to the University of Alabama, absolutely. I mean, the Greek homes, the sororities and the fraternities, it looks like the Parthenon. I mean, there's a sick amount of wealth in that, crazy state of Alabama. And so again, that brought me up in the sports world, and I went on to do other things with sports. Also, like I worked for Tiffany's. So I was on their corporate accounts team for Tiffany's. Huge sustainability, right? So I worked with a lot of donors. So I would do corporate gifts or donor relation gifts or things like that. So what does Duke University give to their high-level donors? They give them a Tiffany scarf. They give them a nice piece of jewelry, da-da-da-da. Well, we started to get a lot of backlash from them because the donors were like, I gave you $100,000 to use towards charitable initiatives. Why are you turning around and giving me a $20,000 gift? Like that became a real point of conflict.
Good.
right? And so I feel like I can reapproach these people under a different lever and just say, hey, look, I remember these conversations, and saying, what if we went back to the donors and said, hey, can we put you on a list for charitable real estate giving so that it's put into your will or whatever it is, or there's a way to do this before you die, you know, all the different layers, all the different ways. But that's where my brain goes. The hardest part for me is to pick one and to stay in that lane. So I see a benefit to build a team and say, okay, you're going to be universities, you're going to be churches, you're going to be this. And that way everybody knows what they're going to do when they show up at work every day. They're going to focus on that vertical rather than, because again, my ADHD won't allow me to just stay in the lane. I have to be 5 different places at once. So I love just the variety, the opportunity, the number of different conversations that can take place. And then going back to Kentucky, horse farms. My God, I mean, you're dealing with some serious money. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry in the state of Kentucky. And
I've been to 4 Kentucky Derbies. I've been to like 20 Preaknesses. I've never been to one Belmont Stakes, not one.
Well, Saratoga's going on right now. I think the sales are going on up there right now. But again, like my head is just swimming with opportunity. It's just, I've got to anchor myself, get this class done, start to really work through, turn the strategy into solutions and sales, basically.
Yeah. Access those videos you were watching that Cammie already has. Keep digesting that. And then August 16th at 11 a.m. Eastern time is the next master class.
Mm-hmm.
I have
That's
a lot
only 10
of
days away.
I have a lot of videos.
Actually, I already.
Sorry. Go ahead.
I already know I have a conflict on that day, so I'm probably going to just go and purchase the master class and do it. I guess the biggest difference is one is live, and so if I buy the master class, it's just I'm reading the content as you go.
She out of bed?
Right. And the Q&A, like there's going to be some Q&A you're going to miss out on too. That's all. Okay.
Well, I'll just tune back in next Wednesday and do Q&A with you guys, maybe.
Okay.
There we go.
We're actually transitioning to that. This is going to be recorded and we're going to present it. Anybody who wants to watch the recording can watch it. And then we're going to have the Wednesday Q&A at noon at noon. And then the Tuesday, instead of the master class being live twice a month, we're going to turn that into a live Q&A as well, but a much longer, more in-depth Q&A. And Cammie's going to host the master class Q&A. There's a lot to this, and I've been full 100% involved since April. I committed to this 100% since April, and I'm still learning, and plus I'm not the marketing strategy minded person. I am more positioning. I'm more about talk about how you can market yourself with this in mind, or how you can connect to the nonprofits. The first thing that Cammie did to me when I first I was like, all right, I'm all in. She goes, all right, I need you to start calling nonprofits for at least 4 hours a day. So I'd bang out calls, 70, 80 calls, 50, 60 calls in a day, getting that experience, hearing all the different things they can say. Well, what about this? What about that? And not having the answers, learning what I got to be able to know. Mm-hmm. And just basically she threw me to the wolves. But through that experience, I built a good network of nonprofits that I'm bringing along. And I've also learned how to speak to this. So.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I feel like I have access to the decision makers. I just need to get ramped up on the spiel and to be able to present with confidence and some certainty of, I know what the heck I'm talking about. I know what the heck I'm doing. And I'm supported by partners who've been doing this a long time and la, 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 la. Again, it's making everybody feel good about what they're doing kind of process. And do you have a database of agents who might already be doing this in Carolinas where I could just go and kind of link in with them? Or if you say no, then that's great news too. Then I'll just start trailblazing as the first person.
Let's see. North Carolina. Why does that not work?
So now you have a connection in California. I have a
North
connection
Carolina.
in North Carolina and South Carolina. So
There you go. Absolutely.
I love what you're doing with the seniors. I seriously
North
believe.
Carolina database right now. There's
Thank you.
no one in North or South Carolina right now.
Yay. That's great.
So
I would love to be your first.
You will, yeah, we would love it too. You got the right mind. You have the right, mindset for this.
So I belong to a mastermind group. It's called Unblinded. Sean Callaghy, who is the influence coach for Tony Robbins. And so that's how I found out about you all. So in this integrity-based setting of heart-centered leaders, where we're trying to operate our business in a very, different way, is where I learned about this. So that already takes away a lot of the question marks of credibility and, who you all are as a group of people.
Does this last link does it connect somewhere to you?
Let's see.
Charitable properties.
I got the
That's you, Sam. Okay. The documents link, the last one.
Charitable properties.
There's
Documents.
Is it charitableproperties.com?
Documents is working. I got documents working.
You see that last link I posted for me?
Documents,
I
right?
did show Cami. I didn't switch. Oh, it does still say my name, but https www.rock.com/documents.
I do, yes.
That one works.
Study that.
That one works.
Listen, the best way to talk to this is to give people the first two ways that they already know about donating property and why they're not efficient or effective. And then you set that up, because both ways it might when a donor sells a property outright and pays what they have left, the nonprofit's going to like it initially because they think, oh, I'm getting this much money, when they don't realize it could be 200,000, 300,000 more. It could be like a lot bigger donation, because by the gifting of the real estate initially to their specialized nonprofit, they avoid paying all those taxes. And by avoiding all those taxes, it increases the value of the donation, because now Uncle Sam's not getting that money. The recipient nonprofit is. So it increases the value. Cami has a special slide that I don't have available. It talks about the charitable. I can't remember even what it's titled, but it gives an example of a property and how it's actually increases in its value because of the avoidance of the sales tax. So the property tax, all the taxes associated with the sale of property. And right now, because real estate values are so up, there's actually significant capital gains tax being paid right now.
Yep, absolutely. And so I guess that this would be also a way to lower that capital gains tax. If you're
Completely.
That's huge.
Completely.
Especially in the farm world. I mean, these farms are multi-million dollars. And when you're trying to will that to your family and avoid the capital, a family could get it and then they're paying an absorbent amount of money in capital gains. It's defeating for, a younger person who might be inheriting something and then they turn back around and pay an instrumental part in taxes. So financial planners are a good point of contact. What about life insurance? What are some other verticals and categories from a
title companies
working and partnering?
Title companies, number one. I think they're because they have access to a lot of the data that goes along with the transactions of the real estate.
Right. And a lot of realty companies are buying title companies or have a partnership with, because they obviously see the dollars that go along with that, and the title companies have the data, so they're able to remarket realty services and title services through
title companies. Have a lot of times will have a monthly or even more, some of them do it weekly, where they have a group of realtors show up at their office or an office they pay for, and they teach the real estate agents some type of value add to attract real estate agents to the title companies. So there's a definite benefit there. By the way, I wanted to say this before, Elizabeth, but I forgot because I didn't want to interrupt you. But EXP, I'm not an agent. I've never been a real estate agent. But if I were to tell you, the way I've seen EXP treat their agents, I would be an EXP agent.
100%. And I mean, their stock goes up when everybody else is going down.
I
So
went to their shareholder summit in Orlando this year. They took and rented all of Universal Studio for the night. And we went through Universal Studio without any lines, got on all the rides. They had food everywhere available at no cost. They had alcohol. It was like, what? Like, what kind of company does this?
right. That's amazing. No, I love it. And the girl that I'm going to be under at EXP is a former hedge fund girl out of California. And she's as smart as anybody I've ever met in my life. She's my real estate coach. And she really just hangs her license, grows her team, and goes back out and coaches. So again, I feel like another arm to communicate what we're doing here. And hey, come on to EXP, go under me, and continue the mission of serving people.
Well, the last thing I'm going to say about EXP is that Gene Frederick is a big name in EXP because 75% of the agents in EXP are under Gene Frederick. Gene Frederick did a series of interviews with Cami, and he, just could not talk highly enough about the opportunity that this presents. So,
and what market is Gene in?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
But Gene's a man.
Yes, Gene.
Okay, I'll pull him up.
Yeah, he's pretty amazing. He was at the top ranks of the Keller Williams company
His
as well.
interview with Cami is on the YouTube channel.
Okay, I'll pull that up. And so again, I hear your feedback about doing the live masterclass. But again, this has been so helpful. I'm so grateful that you all took the time to just entertain my questions and be helpful right now. Thank you.
Well, I mean, I had no calls after this until 2:00, so I still got a half an hour before I actually need to jump on a call. So it was my pleasure. Like this is my favorite thing to do is interacting with people that are interested, or at least talking about it, because I value it so highly. I see it such an amazing opportunity, and it's easy for me to see, so it's easy for me to share.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, you do a great job. I'm thrilled to be a part of this and know about it. And so don't be turned off if you don't see me on the 16th, but I'm probably going to go ahead and get the masterclass underway.
I'm going to go ahead and put my information in here. Make sure you take this down.
Thank you.
I'm the vice president. I'm the first gentleman of the Real Agents of Change.
Awesome. 805-8425.
I've never been married. I never had kids. I'll be 53 next month. And I just got engaged to Cami, the founder of this organization.
Oh, I love that. I've looked at enough stuff that I thought you are a couple, but I didn't want to say that. But congratulations. That's beautiful.
Yeah, you can. I think she puts it out there. So
happy 8-month anniversary, Alan.
It is our eighth month that we've been together.
Oh, really? And so things just happened perfectly and quickly and all good things. That's great.
We met 8 months ago today. We met on December 3rd. And from that moment going forward, we've only been apart when she's had to take trips for work. And that's it.
Oh, I love that. That's beautiful. Well, thank you all both. I'm grateful. This is not the last time we'll see each other. And I'm excited. I'm really, really excited. I love having this.
All right, guys. Take care.
Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.